5.0 when? We're in 12.0.5 next week, actually, in midnight. Come join us. So yeah, no rushing today. We'll have plenty of time to talk about Satisfactory. Don't have super much to say, honestly, about the game, besides the new patch coming in next week for EXP. Besides that, it's going to be like pretty heftily into Q&A. Satisfactory. I know that I said on this stream that you would have a patch, let's see, weeks now. EXP hit on the 17th of March. So the first patch was the week after. Yeah, so the patch that's coming next week was supposed to hit last week. So no, it was supposed to hit 2 weeks ago. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah. It was supposed to hit on the 31st because that's what I said live on stream. And then it didn't hit, and then I was sick, and people were confused, like, yo, where is this patch? This guy told me I'm getting a patch this week, and then he's sick, and now it's next week. Yeah, we had a couple of internal shenanigans. Bluntly, there's nothing wrong with the fixes coming into the patch itself. The two whoopsies that happened, one kind of good whoopsie, if you can call it that, and one kind of bad whoopsie, if you can call it that. Start with the good one. The good whoopsie, but still a whoopsie, was scope creep. People felt a bit ambitious in what they wanted to fix and how much they wanted to fix. And just bluntly, there was a little habit of not respecting deadlines and keeping on submitting shit to the finished patch, the package. That was already overdue, which if they hadn't pushed that to the patch, it would have made live instead. But now it hit this patch already, so because that also has to go through QA and build testing, the patch just got pushed, which kind of worked in tandem anyway with the bad oopsie, because if the bad oopsie was gonna happen anyway, then the good oopsie may as well also happen. And the bad oopsie was that we did have a bit of a localization whoopsie in the back end. Not gonna go into detail in stream because that's unnecessary. But if you have been playing 1.2 on EXP and you play in Ukrainian specifically, you may see that the game is not all well language-wise in places. Maybe. I actually can't read Ukrainian, so I have no idea if this is true or not. But the Ukrainian language specifically has had a little fart moment hopping into EXP. It was working before though, so and that localization was actually caught in external QA and also delayed the patch itself. So localization on that front, as well as scope creep on our front, just made it so that the patch outgrew its first scope and is now, I think, 3 weeks delayed because it is hitting next week. Yeah. So next week, Tuesday, should be guaranteed because the localization oopsie has been detected, and the new deadlines that have been placed on the devs are giga hard set. You're not submitting anything to the game until that patch hits the game now. And this is the last patch, I will say right now. This is the last patch for EXP before 1.2 hits live. And this does not mean, I mean, the patch itself will be coming with it's mainly crash fixes, multiplayer fixes, optimization, because that's what we keep hearing the most about. Feature-wise, the game is playable. Like, it seems, both when I play it, and from reading on the QA site, it seems hella playable, feature-wise. Nothing is egregiously out of order. Stuff is wonky, but that's also stuff we'll fix in the weeks leading up to live now. The more egregious fixes that needed to be, put down because they actually abruptly interfered with gameplay were crashes, and again, lag due to weather, crashes due to fun interactions with vehicles, due to inventory. So a bunch of... it's way more technical than... Like, it's way more in the back end and quality of life crash technical fix heavy than it will be apparent on the front, on the surface, gameplay affecting this patch then. So you won't really spot super many differences in how anything works on the XP. Hopefully the game just runs altogether much more smoother. I could ramble on about the patch notes right here, or the preliminary ones that we have coming up for you. But also, again, they are very tech jargony, and they are, frankly, kind of uninteresting in just the sheer, sitting down and listening to them. The big takeaway is that my game should crash less. The full notes will be brought to you by Uzu next week on Tuesday, when the patch is scheduled to hit. So, because it is Tuesday next week. Maybe swayed by a day in either direction, so Monday, Wednesday. But it shouldn't be more than that. Only issue with weather is how often it rains. I'm in the Dune Desert and it's every 10 minutes or so. Interesting. Yeah, actually, maybe biome consistency could be something to look at. Because that leads me nicely into chat. I just mentioned the patch next week, majorly about tech improvements and crashes and optimization, is the last patch for experimental. That does not mean that the game you will see on EXP after patch next week is the game you're getting for live. Like, that version is not going to be the one-to-one EXP to live transfer that we're just holding out on for no reason. No. After the patch, the game is still going to be on EXP for a bit, because we are very, very keen on fixing and optimizing, especially according to feedback, even more things post the second patch. It's just that these things that we fix and bring to the table after patch 2, those things will never hit EXP. They will just be in the game as it ships into live later down the line. So don't fret if the game still feels like strange, or if your feedback about, say, weather or something just hasn't felt as heard. And maybe we won't fix weather. All I'm saying is, if stuff feels clunky or especially egregiously bad on EXP post next week's patch, chances are very good that those things will be fixed on live, but not on EXP. EXP will stay the way it is, unless something goes terribly wrong on EXP and needs immediate fixing, like the game is actually unplayable, crashing on boot up or something. So yeah. That's probably, honestly, everything I have to say about the new ongoings about Satisfactory. Because next week we can talk about the immediate repercussions of the patch, assuming it hits before the dev stream, hoping that's the case. Otherwise, yeah. I do want to share a little number with you. Not an explicit number, because that's illegal, but a vague, big thank you to all of you, or a big thank you and a vague figure of 1.2 EXP participation has been more involved and, playing huger, way huger, in fact, than 1.1, and most updates before 1.0. And, we appreciate it. It's very fun, and it does help tremendously, again, with feedback and hunting for fixes. So thank you. Honestly, truly, thank you for just being there, playing EXP. Damn, I came too late. New patch next week, mainly tech optimization, and that will be the state of EXP until the game goes live. Easy peasy. Daisy chaining did the trick. Still fighting for... oh yeah, I can actually talk about that briefly. Still gonna fight for chaining to be higher up the criterion tree. But both production and direction has hit me with, don't expect that to be the case for live. So I'm gonna hit you, chat, with, don't expect daisy chaining to be any higher up the criterion tree in 1.2 live than it is right now. Argument being that, which is true, I still disagree with the fundamental placement, but the argument that it really is not that hard to reach is true. Like, yeah, okay, Caterium is not the worst tree to work through, so well, we tried. Just add it to MK poles, or even remove MK poles, well, or just put it above. People still could use poles for niche reasons with power switches. Just leave my daisy chaining alone. To Mark 2, Mark 2 pulse, or even Mark 3 pulse, which is Mark 2 pulse. I could unlock it periodically. Yeah, it's very like aimable and hittable early if you want. So, oh well, we tried, chat. We tried. And then finally, we have also brought a big slew of feedback to the to direction and production. about you guys clamoring for, again, roads being big with 1.2, as well as architecture. Half-width walls, shape, foundations, different finishes or even textures on foundations and walls. All the good things. They have been escalated, and that's as far as I can fight. What I can do now is just be an annoying person and nag them, but that's just, that's just me being annoying and, kicking them just verbally without being able to actually accelerate the official process. What I can do at work capacity efficiently or properly in escalating stuff from you guys, that has been done. So architecture and the roads are loudly visible as the things you guys want the most. We'll see where that takes us in the future. So yeah, speaking of knowing about issues internally, chat, there is one thing that before we answer questions again, I promised Guru to fish for this, and now is a good time because the view count has stabilized and people have trickled in. There is one bug that we have heard about that is on the QA site, but that we, for the life of us, cannot replicate in the game, which is pretty game-breaking, and it's only on EXP, so if you're playing 1.1, this should not affect you. But on EXP, we have seen reports and even footage from your inventory or the stacks of your items in your inventory just cutting in half repeatedly globally. So we have seen bug reports of inventory stacks in containers specifically being lower than in your other spaces, and that's separate from this, but we know about that. The problem with this other bug, where your stacks are just hard capped to numbers half or even 25% of what they are used or usually supposed to be, means that this happens in your normal inventory, this happens in containers, this happens in machines, working machines, and especially that, the working machines parts, makes it impossible to play at all, especially when you handle machines like, say, copper dust in a particle accelerator. Rebooting the game usually fixes it, but that's also still very, very annoying to deal with. It's a very wild bug, yes. So if you have any idea at all of what this is, please take that to the QA site. As many details as possible. We're happy to accept saves or footage of this happening. If you happen to know exactly what you have been doing until the point where inventory breaks itself or stacks break themselves, especially if they are, again, inventory or stacks in machines, please share that, because we are on the active lookout for that. That's like the one big thing we want to fix that we don't have eyes on at all, so, or like a feel for at all. So yeah, if you have any idea, please chat. I'll see myself out. Do you know how many lines of code this game has? Yeah. A misplaced semicolon. If only it was that easy, and still also that hard. Could be about app data. I never had such issue because I deleted the app data section for the game since the engine was changing. Do you play EXP? Maybe.